All right, I know. I said it would be a couple of days and it's been a couple of weeks, but I didn't lie to you. I'm here. I'm at Kirthkiln Regional Park, where in the last video I came to clean up some rubbish, gave myself that privilege on my birthday, and we're here now to do a maiden voyage cook with this camp kitchen, which will conclude my series on building this camp kitchen. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be 20 something degrees, no clouds, barely any wind, perfect for the aspiring YouTuber. We're making a Chinese inspired roast lamb using one of my favorite ingredients, garlic, or featuring one of my favorite ingredients, I should say. But before I came up here today, I needed to get my fix, and so I went to my local spot and scored some rosemary. So this is a deboned, butterflied leg of lamb, so it basically wraps around the bone, but they take the bone out. It's got a pretty big fat cap. I might take a bit of that off and just wipe it down, get rid of the moisture. A lot of this renders down really nice and doesn't lead to it being too tough, but what I find is if it's too thick, you just end up with these big chunks of fat in there, and it's not easy to eat. Got to be super careful up here. You can see behind me, I'll put it up on the screen. There's my friendly kookaburras. It's really dry at the moment. Got to be super careful. Don't want to be the cause of a bushfire. Do you think they're laughing at me? So what I'm doing, the Leatherman's really nice and sharp, just cutting in little caves or divots, trying not to go all the way through it. You know, I'm just trying to go in, 3/4 of the way through the thickness. And there's a reason for that. And you'll notice I'm doing it on the fatty side as well. Salt and pepper both sides. Nice even coating. Lots of pepper. This is just really loosely cracked. There's basically like whole peppercorns in there. That's what I want. Both sides, just like that. Good salt and peppering. Awesome. All right, now to the flavor. Rosemary. This is the easy part because you just kind of work your way down and put it in the bowl here. I'm not using like whole sprigs, I'm just loosely tearing it off. Probably 2 of these will do me. So I won't bore you with peeling garlic for the next 10 minutes, but check this out. You put your cloves in one bowl, cover it with another. So naturally, some of them come straight out of the peel. You don't have to do anything, and even if they don't, they loosen up a bit, so handy tip. That seems like a good amount of garlic. This is where the people that don't particularly like garlic start to cringe. I'm putting it on this tray to crush because if I put it on the chopping board, I'm going to lose sort of more juice out of the garlic, so just trying to maintain as much of the juice as I can. Got this dust from the bulb on it. But yep, I haven't even chopped the ends off. You can chop the ends off if you want, but I'm not even going to bother. Just gonna mash it up. Smells like garlic. That's done, and now we're going to add that in with the rosemary like so. And then canola oil, decent amount to cover it. Oh, it's going to be so good. Mix that up, let it soak in, basically creating a marinade, I guess. Just garlic, rosemary oil. That's stewed a bit quite nicely. Now it's for the messy part and the strategic part. So I'm gonna clump this with my hands and push it into the holes I made, and then I'm gonna roll it up. And when I roll it up, I'm leaving this side up where the holes are, and so it's sort of the reason I didn't want to poke right through it was so when you roll it up on the outside it's just salt and pepper, but on the inside there's all these like sections of garlic and rosemary in it, and the fat will just render through it. It'll be really beautiful. So that's the plan. When you crush garlic, you get more maximum flavor. Like whole garlic cloves, without breaking them apart, you don't get the surface area and all the juice coming out of it. So yeah, when you mash it up, and you really want that garlic punch, that's what you've got to do. This certainly isn't for the faint-hearted, and probably not conducive to a romantic evening with your spouse either, once you've demolished a plate of this. Let's see if I can do this without catastrophe. Trying to keep the pressure on it. Got flies biting me, marsh flies, the big ones. They're testing me. Tie your greatest granny knot of all time. I actually came up here during the week. There wasn't much evidence that people had been here since I was last here, apart from some suspicious looking toilet paper and an equally suspicious blue plastic ball. I had the intention of filming this video then, but I was running out of energy and daylight and decided to kick back and enjoy the quiet instead. And some practice lamb, because practice makes perfect, or at least practice leads to improvement. So I've lightly oiled the camp oven and then trivet in, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in 1 stock cube and enough water to cover the bottom. This will just keep some moisture in there and create a bit of flavour as well. You could turn it into a good gravy at the end if you wanted. I'm not going to today, but that'll give you a great broth or whatever at the left over to do something like that. And that is ready to go in. That on charcoal. So Snow Peak fire pit, I'm on the second notch with the grill bridge to raise the oven up. So medium heat, you could say. Started with a full charcoal starter, about half in the bottom, and then half on the top of the lid here. If anything, you want a little more on top. That out of the way safely. And then, using the Osprey grill just as a platform, lamb on, and that on 65 degrees, give or take, for a nice medium to medium-ish lamb. I've been trying to get it perfect. I reckon it'll take about 45 minutes or so. While that's cooking, I'm going to clean up this awful mess I've made, and I'm going to prepare to do the side dish. We can do the side dish just while the meat is resting at the end, so we can do that after, but I think I'll need some more coals, so I'm going to put another smaller batch of charcoal on just to give it that boost of heat towards the end. So you're probably thinking, Dan, this is great and all, but how the heck is this a Chinese-inspired dish? Here's the story. Shortly after finishing uni, I was lucky enough to go to China with my friend Chris. Chris and I were best mans at each other's wedding. He'd probably be in my top 36 friends at least. Anyway, we got to know Jeff at uni, and so there was a program where Chinese students would do 2 years at their home university and then 2 years in Australia. So we met Jeff when he came here, or Sichuan as his real name is. So he invited us back to his hometown after we finished uni, and he lives in the northwest part of China in Zhangye City prefecture, which is part of the Gansu province. And it's a really poor area of China, one of high poverty levels, and one of the sort of worse off places to live in China. So not many tourists get to go there, and it was a really awesome experience. Some beautiful landscapes, and the natural environment was incredible. And yeah, wow, what a great place. Anyway, we did a day trip, and we went to this sort of local place, but of high religious significance and popular with people visiting. And there was basically what I'd call a kiosk, and a restaurant for lunch. A restaurant, but it looked more like a kiosk. It was basically a shack, and then you could see the sheep out the back and these beautiful hills in the background, and they sat you under an umbrella with what are basically deck chairs, and that was the sort of restaurant. And Jeff said, no, this place is well known for lamb, so let's do it. And lunchtime, so we sat down, and long story short, it was the best lamb I've had in my whole life. One type was marinated, and it had I could never even figure out what could be in there. It was just so delicious. And the other one was just salt, pepper, and garlic. And that area of China is known, I think, through being quite a poor area, is known for sort of just simple braised and roasted beef and mutton, or lamb, or an older lamb. And so, yeah, this is a throwback to my memory of eating the best lamb I ever had in China, which basically involved lots of garlic, lots of salt, lots of pepper. Rosemary is not particularly Chinesey, but I think that just works really nicely. I was going to put some wood chips on there and then rest the lamb on the Osprey and get some smoke flavour in, but because it's so well done, executive decision has been made. I'm just going to take it off there and let it rest. Got some red hot fresh coals. It's going to be really nice and hot, which is good. It's what I need. Put that on there, and then I'll just give this a rinse off. Got some nice ash in my eye there. Beautiful big skink just over there, big lizard about that long. As we were getting to know Jeff in Australia, and he used to say that his dad was a farmer, and we never believed it, because you've got to have a bit of money behind you, and it's highly competitive to get into uni over there, and it's there's socio-economic classes and all that stuff. So we thought he was having a lend of us. Anyway, when we got to his hometown and he picked us up, we realised that his dad was actually basically the rice baron of that whole area. Sorry guys, just had to cut it there for a sec. The neighbour in the cross paddock started up the mower. So Jeff's dad wasn't just a farmer, he basically controlled a lot of the farming in that area. And on the first night we were there, we dined out at a restaurant that his uncle owned, and it was like this multi-storey complex, and we had our private restaurant room on like the third floor, and we had a mahjong table and multiple waiters, and just it was out of this world. One of the side dishes they brought out was these spicy green beans with chili and garlic, and really simple, but I haven't been able to replicate it, but this is the closest that I've gotten. That style of cooking's more Sichuan style Chinese, where it's spicy, hot, intense, garlicky, fried, that sort of thing, very oily. So it's not really that part of China that I visited, not that style, but nonetheless delicious. And here's my attempt at Out There with Dan, spicy Chinese green beans. Here's the ingredients. Green beans, I got these pre-snipped because I was a bit lazy. Soy sauce, canola oil, rice wine vinegar. This is sort of that iconic taste you want, so it's really important you get the right rice wine vinegar. A little bit of raw sugar. This is just water, minced up garlic, and chili oil. So you'd find this in like the international section of your supermarket, and you'd find it as like a condiment, kind of like the tomato sauce of Asian fast food, I guess, for those that like chili. It's bloody potent. And then on top of that, spring onions. I'm just going to use the white section, chop it up, and I think green onion is what you would use traditionally in China, but green onion is pretty similar to spring onion, not exactly the same. I think this is a bit more powerful, but spring onion is probably the closest you'll get in Australia. And this little fella, we've been growing chilies in the backyard, so I'm going to throw a little bit of him in. Don't let the size fool you on these things, they are intense. We also grow rosemary at home, but not in the quantities we need. Let's just say our rosemary situation's not that great at home. Right, paduri lid on. Gonna get super hot in there. A couple of tablespoons of canola oil. Beans in. Lost one over the side. Let's see if we can save him. Got him. So what I'm trying to do is cook them hot, cook them fast, just in a little bit of oil. You hear that sizzle. And basically this, I want them to shrivel a little bit, just a little bit, so they'll change appearance slightly. You see that kind of textural change? That's what you're after. It's kind of like a shrivel look. Alright guys, next in the onion and garlic flavours. So in with the spring onion. Couple of teaspoons, about a tablespoon of garlic. I'm using that rather than raw garlic just for the sort of acidity it gives. The chili oil, the potent stuff. Get some of the seeds as well. Maybe just one good teaspoon will be enough. I'll get to. Okay, where's my tongs gone? Tongs. Right, don't want it to burn. Mix that all in. Oh, the burning chili oil. It's just like, oh, hits you all the vapour. Let that simmer again for a bit. Guys, I just had a brain fade on this and didn't hit record. So vinegar, rice wine vinegar in, soy sauce in, a little bit of water in, and sugar in to finish it off. Once it's nearly done, add that stuff in and then sort of let it boil and brew in that for a little longer. The rice wine vinegars, once you taste it, you go, oh yeah, I see what it's meant to taste like. The soy sauce and that rice wine vinegar really bring it together. And then you've got this kind of undertone of just this heat of the chili and the intensity of the garlic. All right, so they are good. They are very good. Let's get them out and eat them. All right, guys, I'm just gonna tidy up, plate up, and I'm gonna eat it in front of you. Sorry, and have a chat. All right, moment of truth. Let's have a go at it. Oh, it's so good. Just gonna stab it. You should see all the juice in here. Yeah, I'll tip it into the tray, then you'll definitely be able to see it. How good's that? So much juice. Oh, yeah. As soon as you take the string off, you see the plan come together. So basically you could unroll it and eat it like that, but I'm going to cut it basically in half so you can sort of see the effect of how we did the garlic and rosemary holes. So, oh, check that out. I've got a bit of pink in there, which I'm very happy about. You can see how the garlic, you can see the little caverns if you cut in the right spot where you've stuffed it all in, and it creates these little hives of flavour. and oh, it's just awesome. Beautiful colour. It's cooked really nicely. So there you go. Turns out you can make traditional Chinese dishes in the middle of the outback in Australia. The flies seem to like it too. This looks so good. It's that beautiful pinkness. So good. Try not to eat a fly here. So tender. Even though I cooked it pretty quick, you know, 45 minutes or so, you know, the garlic's had time to soak through it. You know, the fat's rendered down with the rosemary. Just these little pockets of flavour, so good. And when I was at that place in China where I ate that lamb, I remember they served it with raw garlic. So here goes. And that certainly is not for the faint-hearted. I really like spicy food, but this is about my level. You know, my what can I say, fragile Caucasian heritage doesn't allow for anything more spicy than that, but that's perfect. Great combination, simple, you know. If you're making a roast, you could do something different like this, you know. On the personal front, guys, busy time for us at the moment. Baby's due in 11 weeks now, so there's a bit of basically a countdown going on now. I'm changing roles at work, so I've been lucky to be working at home for pretty much the whole pandemic, and I've taken basically a promotion, but I'm back at the manufacturing site, and yeah, so I've had to buy a car. Got a 2015 Toyota Corolla to get me there and back, so that should do well. Got to hand back the company car. A couple of people have asked about the stickers that I put on the case and said, are they for sale? So at this stage they're not for sale. You can send me an email at dan@outtherewithdan.com and just send me a postal address on email and I'll get a sticker to you. So after that, once this first batch has run out, I only ordered a handful, you know, so I'll go and place a bigger order and then I'll look at selling them if people are enjoying them. But if you want one, get in quick and yeah, send me an email and I'll shoot you one. Last night I was actually emailing one of my subscribers and fans, and this person will know who they are. They're actually a sheep farmer in Western Australia, and they said they do a roast lamb once a week, every weekend for their family. And I just had this immediate like self-consciousness about doing this, and you know how little I really know about the cut of meat and you know all the science behind it. And then I was thinking, oh, am I absolutely like, you know, am I going to lose a fan here because I'm saying all the wrong stuff? So let me know, you know who you are, if I've done a good job, and I would really like some tips if you've got them. If you're new to the channel, this is the sort of thing I like to do. Check out the series that I've spent putting this camp kitchen together and designing it my way. I look forward to doing more of these, and this year we're going to talk more about camping and fall driving and sort of more general outdoorsy stuff. But this outdoors cooking stuff is going to be kind of the pulse or the bloodline of the channel, I think. So if you enjoy this, press the like button, subscribe. It really supports me and the channel. Thanks a lot, guys. I better get this away from the flies, have a bit more myself, and take it home, and I think that'll be our dinner, maybe for tomorrow as well. Hope everyone likes lamb. Good on you. See ya.
Mama? Mommy, Mama?
What do you want, babe?
Mama?
More what?
Mama.
What's that? More lamb?
Mama.
More daddy's lamb.
More Jaiwa.